Hello everyone and welcome to our channel. Today we will explore an incredibly interesting and meaningful topic, one that could change the way you view old age and help you enjoy a more fulfilling life than ever before. The mistakes to avoid in old age. Did you know that Stoicism, an ancient philosophy with timeless values, could be the key to unlocking the door to happiness in old age? It teaches us how to live a virtuous life, with inner peace and resilience in the face of life's challenges. These precious teachings are especially useful as we enter the twilight years of life, helping you remain steadfast through life's challenges and find joy in every moment. If you are on a journey to seek a healthy, peaceful, and meaningful old age, this video is just for you. Before we begin, don't forget to show your support by hitting the like button and subscribe to our channel. We are committed to bringing you quality content with practical insights and deep reflections on life. Click the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos, and share this video with your loved ones so that together we can build a wise community, ready to face life's challenges with a calm and enlightened mindset. Dear friends, the great writer Victor Hugo once wrote, "A mother's arms cradle her child with tenderness, and the child sleeps peacefully in that embrace." What a beautiful and love-filled saying, vividly portraying the sacred affection parents have for their children. Parents always want to give their children the best, loving them unconditionally without expecting anything in return. Because of this boundless love, parents often have the tendency to overly protect their children, doing everything for them, even when it's unnecessary. However, when children grow up, it's time for parents to let go so that their children can spread their wings, asserting themselves in life. This is not neglect, but a wise expression of love, helping the children develop fully and become independent. That's why today, we will explore the common mistakes parents often make when their children have grown up, especially during old age, so that we can make suitable adjustments, ensuring that the parent-child relationship remains close, harmonious, and happy. First point, helping your children with housework. Let me tell you the story of Mr. John, a man in his 70s, who decided to move in with his son and daughter-in-law after his wife passed away. With the thought of being close to his grandchildren and helping around the house, he felt excited. Who wouldn't want to spend the later years of life with loved ones, especially little grandchildren? He believed that living with his son's family would bring joy and warmth, just like the evenings spent gathered around the family dinner table. The first few days passed peacefully. The sound of the grandchildren's laughter, the aroma of the dishes John himself cooked, and the feeling of being needed made him happy. He enjoyed preparing breakfast, taking his grandchildren to school, and helping his daughter-in-law with dinner in the evenings. However, that peace didn't last. One day, while John was preparing dinner with his favorite traditional grilled meat, his son entered the kitchen with a tense expression. "Dad, I've told you before, the kids don't like fatty foods like this. Why don't you try making lighter dishes like salads or steamed foods?" his son said, his frustration barely concealed. John was surprised because he thought he was helping and bringing delicious meals to the family. But gradually, the gentle suggestions from his son and daughter-in-law turned into commands. "Dad, don't add so much salt to the soup," or "Dad, don't overcook the meat like that." John started to feel overshadowed in his children's house, as if his voice no longer had any value. On another evening, while John was making mashed potatoes, a traditional dish he had loved since he was young, his daughter-in-law entered and said, "Dad, I really don't want the kids eating too many carbs. We're trying to maintain a healthy diet for them." The feeling of being controlled and disrespected began to creep into John's heart. He had always been proud of his cooking skills, but now his dishes were deemed unsuitable. He no longer felt like an important part of the family, but more like an undervalued helper. Family meals were no longer a joy, but rather a place where he had to follow strict demands. One night, after a minor argument about using too much butter for a dish, John sat alone in his room. He gazed out the window and asked himself, "Is this really what I want for the rest of my life?" Memories of his small old house came to mind. It was where he had lived with his wife, where he could freely cook his favorite dishes without worrying about being judged. Finally, John decided it was time to return to his own home. The next morning, he sat down to talk with his son and daughter-in-law. "I've thought about this a lot. I know you both want the best for the family, but I think it's time for me to go back to my own home. I feel like I need my freedom and personal space." His son, after a moment of surprise, understood that his father needed autonomy and the true happiness he deserved. "I understand, Dad. Do what makes you happy. We will always support you." John returned to his beloved little house, where he could freely cook, live the way he wanted, and rediscover joy in simple things. He no longer had to worry about bothering anyone, and each day became an opportunity for him to enjoy life on his own terms. He realized that happiness doesn't come only from being near his children and grandchildren, but also from listening to himself and living a meaningful life. John's story is a reflection of the real challenges that older adults often face when they extend a helping hand to their children and grandchildren. Initially, it might bring joy and connection, but as generational boundaries blur and their voices lose weight, a silent feeling of being sidelined creeps in, causing underlying conflicts and deeply affecting their self-esteem, independence, and even happiness. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated and share this video with your loved ones. Together, let's build a wise community, ready to face life's challenges with calmness and understanding. Stoicism, with its emphasis on self-control and accepting things we cannot change, offers an insightful perspective on John's situation. As the philosopher Epictetus said, happiness doesn't come from external circumstances, but from how we perceive and respond to them. John lost the feeling of control in his son's home when his joy in cooking was replaced with convenience meals, and his personal space was diminished. Stoicism advises that instead of fighting to change the situation, John could find inner peace by acknowledging his limitations and calmly adapting to the changes around him. Seneca, another famous Stoic philosopher, once said, "We do not have a short life, but we waste much of it." For John, spending all his time and energy trying to meet the expectations of his children, while feeling powerless and unhappy, might indeed be seen as a waste. Instead, he could choose to return to his personal joys, dedicate time to himself, nurture his spirit, and seek out the values that truly matter to him. From a psychological perspective, parents helping their children care for their families can foster a sense of connection and give them a feeling of usefulness. However, as psychologist Erik Erikson pointed out in his theory of psychosocial development, the later stages of life are when individuals need to maintain autonomy to avoid feelings of despair and identity crises. John, caught in the whirlwind of caring for his grandchildren and cooking, gradually lost his sense of self-determination and personal space. This led to an internal conflict, wanting to help his children while feeling controlled and unacknowledged. Carol Gilligan, a psychologist known for her theory of the ethics of care, suggested that women and caregivers in general tend to prioritize the needs of others over their own. John was no exception. He placed his children's families above all else. However, Gilligan emphasized that balancing caring for others and caring for oneself is essential. Excessive sacrifice can lead to physical and emotional exhaustion. In this context, John's decision to return to his own home was a pivotal moment. It was not only a way for him to re-establish his autonomy and identity, but also a means of finding balance between his responsibilities toward his children and his right to live for himself. As psychologist Carl Jung once noted, loneliness does not come from having no people around, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to oneself. John's inability to express his true feelings, to recognize his yearning for freedom, ultimately led to his decision to return to his old place. And it was there that he rediscovered his joy for life and a sense of inner harmony. The second point, helping children make decisions. Old age often comes with a desire for rest, to enjoy life after many years of hard work. Yet many parents, out of deep love for their children, take on unnamed responsibilities, continuing to shoulder burdens that should belong to the next generation. One common mistake they make is intervening too deeply in their children's major life decisions. When children have grown up, entered independence, and started building their own lives, they face many significant choices, from buying a house or car, investing in business, to decisions about marriage, career, and education. In these critical moments, the role of parents is not to make decisions for them, but to support, listen, and offer advice when needed. Stoicism, with its profound insights into life, reminds us of a fundamental truth. We cannot hold on to and control the entirety of another person's life, even if that person is our own child. Philosopher Epictetus asserted, "The only thing we can truly control is our own actions and responses." Therefore, when parents try to intervene in their children's significant decisions, it is, in fact, a form of attempting to control something that is beyond their grasp. Instead of imposing our thoughts, Stoicism advises us to focus on offering support, providing advice, and allowing our children the freedom to choose their own paths. It's important to learn to accept that their choices may differ from their parents' expectations. Psychologists affirm that personal psychological development, especially in adulthood, heavily relies on autonomy. Erik Erikson, in his theory of psychosocial development, emphasized the significance of autonomy. According to Erikson, autonomy not only helps children mature, but also prevents negative emotions like resentment or frustration from being imposed upon. Therefore, parents learning to let go at the right time is not just an expression of love, but also a way to build a respectful and balanced relationship with their children. Sociologists agree with this perspective. For children to grow into independent and confident individuals, parents must play a supportive role rather than making decisions on their behalf. Sociologist Margaret Mead once said, "The responsibility of parents is to prepare children to live independently, not to live for them." Allowing children to make their own decisions, experience, and learn from their mistakes, as well as their successes, helps them develop adaptability, problem-solving skills, and a forward-looking perspective for their future. The third point, covering up the mistakes of children and grandchildren. One of the common mistakes made by older adults, often stemming from their boundless love for their children and grandchildren, is the tendency to cover up their mistakes. Out of a desire to protect their loved ones from the hardships and challenges of life, grandparents often have the inclination to shield and excuse their mistakes. However, Stoicism teaches that covering up mistakes is not the right way to express love. As the philosopher Seneca put it, every indulgence is a form of cruelty. When grandparents cover for their children and grandchildren, they unintentionally strip them of the opportunity to recognize their errors, learn from them, and grow. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and renowned Stoic philosopher, once wrote, It is not the things themselves that trouble us, but our judgments about those things. When children or grandchildren make mistakes, instead of concealing them, grandparents should help them view the situation objectively, analyze the causes, and find solutions to rectify the issue. It is important to remember that stumbling is an essential part of growth. Every mistake is a valuable lesson that helps children and grandchildren improve themselves and become stronger. Therefore, instead of overprotecting or shielding them too much, it is more valuable to teach them how to face reality, take responsibility for their actions, and overcome challenges with their own strength. The fourth point, the elderly should not be financially dependent on their children. The elderly should maintain a savings account or financial independence rather than relying entirely on their children. Financial autonomy not only helps them feel more secure materially, but also allows them to retain the right to make decisions and control their own lives. When the elderly can cover their personal expenses, they won't feel like a burden to their children, preserving their dignity and respect within the family. Additionally, financial independence enables older individuals to participate in social activities, take care of their health, and engage in entertainment without waiting for financial support from their children. According to psychologists, financial independence gives the elderly a sense of confidence, helping them live more proactively and positively. This aligns with Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes the importance of controlling what is within our power. By preparing sufficient savings to cover personal needs, the elderly can maintain a life of freedom, peace, and self-reliance. Psychologist Abraham Maslow placed the need for physical safety as a foundation in his hierarchy of needs. Once this need is fulfilled, individuals can confidently pursue higher levels of development, such as social connection, love, and self-actualization. Stoicism highlights the importance of managing what is within one's control and accepting the things that cannot be changed. Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." By learning to spend wisely and maintaining financial independence, the elderly can minimize anxiety and insecurity about material needs, thereby finding peace of mind. Fifth point, neglecting health care. One of the most important lessons older adults must remember is to never neglect their health. Stoic philosophers believe that while we cannot control all external events, physical health is something we can and should take care of. They emphasize maintaining a healthy diet, regular exercise, and mental clarity, considering these as integral aspects of their philosophy. These healthy habits not only improve physical health, but also enhance mental sharpness and emotional resilience, which are crucial for facing the challenges of old age with composure. For example, a balanced and nutritious diet supports bodily functions and can prevent many age-related diseases. Regular exercise, suited to one's physical capacity, helps maintain flexibility, strength, and cardiovascular health, critical factors for independence and quality of life. Meanwhile, mental activities such as reading, learning new skills, or engaging in stimulating conversations keep the mind sharp and can slow cognitive decline. On the other hand, neglecting health can lead to serious consequences. An unhealthy lifestyle, lack of physical activity, and neglecting mental exercise can lead to chronic health problems, reduced mobility, and cognitive decline. These issues not only affect longevity, but also reduce quality of life, making it difficult for the elderly to enjoy a fulfilling and meaningful life. Social psychologists also emphasize the close connection between physical and mental health. Good health not only helps older adults maintain independence, but also allows them to engage in social activities, interact with others, and find joy in life. This contributes to an improved quality of life and brings feelings of happiness and fulfillment to the elderly. In conclusion, valuing both physical and mental health is the foundation for a virtuous, peaceful, and meaningful life in old age. In the journey of old age, avoiding major mistakes is key to living a peaceful, happy, and meaningful life. Although aging brings many challenges, with the wisdom of Stoicism, we can find inner peace and live with clarity. The principles of Stoicism teach us that self-control, self-respect, and accepting what cannot be changed are the foundations of a fulfilling life. By recognizing our limits, letting go of responsibilities that are not ours, and giving the next generation the freedom to make their own decisions, we can enjoy old age with serenity and completeness. As the philosopher Epictetus once said, happiness doesn't come from external circumstances, but from how we perceive and respond to them. Let the wisdom and philosophy of Stoicism guide you, helping you avoid mistakes and live freely and peacefully in the final years of life.